get on to our next topic here, talking a little bit about Jonathan Majors. So, Chris, what do we got?
From Bernardo Molina. Hi, John. Hopefully we're about to get some closure on this Jonathan Majors situation. Today is going to be his first appearance in court. Since I'm a fan of his, I'm hopeful that the prosecutor is going to drop the charges. What are you expecting to happen? Do you think they'll drop the charges? Do you think we're going to hear more things that are damaging to Majors? If the charges are dropped, do you think he can still be Kang? Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in. And yeah, I mean, obviously the situation with Jonathan Majors has been a big deal lately for movie fans, primarily because he's Kang right now. Maybe the most central figure we have in what's going on with Marvel Phase 5 and Phase 6, right? He's the key piece. He is Kang. The next big Avengers movie is literally called Kang Dynasty. We literally saw a football stadium full of Jonathan Majors at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And he's one of the hottest guys in the world right now as far as career is gone. Of course, then came the charges. He was arrested, all that kind of stuff. The adamant denials from the lawyer, the suggestion of evidence, all that kind of stuff. Well, today was his first day to appear in court. And a lot of people were wondering if the DA would drop the charges at this point, all that kind of stuff. Well, his first day in court's over. DA did not drop the charges. They're moving forward. He amended the charges a little bit. This comes to us from the folks at the Hollywood Reporter who wrote the following. Majors appeared virtually Tuesday, shown on a television screen in court wearing a beige dress shirt, I should say, pictured against a white background. He did not speak other than responding affirmatively to the judge's prompts. The counts and charges have remained the same, but new complaint language from the district attorney indicates that the woman also allegedly experienced injury to the right arm and was pushed into the car by Majors. In addition to the previously reported laceration to her right ear and finger, the complaint no longer includes reports of bruising and injury to the neck. During the hearings, the defense team said they needed to review additional material with Majors. So that was kind of the wrapping up of the whole thing. Now, a part of that is a protection order was made against Majors. A judge granted a protection order to keep Jonathan Majors away from the defendant. The defense for Jonathan Majors had no objections to it because they said Jonathan Majors doesn't want to have anything to do with her anyway. So that was uncontested. Now, in case you've been trying to follow this, here's a little bit of a timeline that has led us up until this point, okay? So on March 25th, that's the day everything hit the fan. Well, when Jonathan Majors got arrested, the reports came out, kind of shocked the world, especially like coming off of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Creed 2, all that kind of stuff. The next day, the Army pulled their ad campaign that had featured Jonathan Majors. They pulled that down. On March 30th, Jonathan Majors' lawyer released text messages that raised more questions. I think the intent of the lawyer releasing those text messages was to say, see? But instead, it kind of backfired on them a little bit because a lot of people read those text messages and a lot of analysts looked at it and said, that's classic abuse victim language. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that. I am no psychological expert whatsoever, but I'm saying they released the text messages. It raised more questions for some people. On April 18th, Majors' manager and PR firm dropped him. That was significant because you'd think in a situation like this, that's where Majors could really use his PR firm, but the PR firm and his manager parted ways with Jonathan Majors on April 18th. On April 19th, Variety reported that more alleged victims came forward to speak to the DA. It should be pointed out that at least in all the official reports I've read so far, no mention of those other alleged victims were brought up, which is not terribly unusual because if there are other victims, those will be separate charges and separate things. Again, if there's any at all. If there's anything at all. That's simply based on a report in Variety. So the fact that that report is there and the fact that there's no mention of those other victims in this particular case or in court today really shouldn't be surprising because those would probably be handled as separate charges. So then on April 20th, video claims to show a victim partying later seemingly okay. So apparently a couple of outlets had a chance to look at the video footage that Jonathan Majors' lawyer had, and it apparently showed the alleged victim later on in the evening still going out to a club and, at least from appearances, looked perfectly fine. I haven't seen the video myself, but that's what the report said, that she looked perfectly fine. On April 27th, a judge issues the protective order against Majors to stay away from the alleged victim. Again, that protection order was unopposed because the lawyer says Jonathan Majors doesn't want to have anything to do with her anyway. So today was the first day in court, and charges did not get dropped. Didn't expect them to get dropped, to be honest with you, because the DA did not need to wait to get to court to drop the charge. The DA could, if the DA wanted to drop the charges, could have dropped the charges anytime. They could have just filed a motion, said, we're dismissing this, whatever, no problem, everything's done. That didn't happen. So now that means buckle up, we're in for a circus. And I particularly, look, I'm an individual on the outside looking in who says, we don't know squat. On the outside, we don't know squat. We're reading reports. We're hearing the defense saying the things the defense should say. We're reading reports about this and that, saying what the report should say. So I have no idea. I don't have any inclination to this, whatever. But with this now meaning probably a dragged out court case, the question will become, does Marvel stick with Jonathan Majors here? And it's not a question, because there are two rather silly points of view on this. I think there was one silly point of view that said immediately that Disney should have dropped Jonathan Majors. I think that was a silly perspective. I think Disney has so much wrapped up in Jonathan Majors that you should take your time. You should figure out what's going on, what is real, what is not, because the last thing you want to do is to go through some major upheaval when you didn't need to. The second silly thing is, well, Disney should just stick with Jonathan Majors no matter what. That is equally as silly. This is a business. Disney has hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars wrapped up and at stake here. And there's no reason Disney should allow Jonathan Majors' drama, as unfortunate as it is, to become their drama. Why should we suffer hundreds of millions of dollars in damages because of something that has nothing to do with us? And now with this court case proceeding, I wonder how long will Disney stick with it? Not because of whether they think Jonathan Majors is guilty or not, but just from a more pragmatic point of view. Listen, we need to move forward with our stuff, and we can't move forward when we don't know what's going to be happening with Jonathan Majors. So I just wonder, from a practical point of view, do they say, for all intents and purposes, innocent or not, Jonathan Majors is kind of unavailable to us as long as this court case is going on. So what do we do? And I don't know what the answer to that is, but it's going to take a little while for us to see and figure out. Anyway, Chris, we looked at the timeline. Jonathan Majors made his first appearance in court. What do you think Disney and Marvel's response is? Because that's really our circle and sphere of interest here, is how do things affect the movies? Obviously, there are more important things in the world than movies, but that's what we talk about here is the movies. So from that point of view, what is Disney and Marvel's response here? Do we think they're going to hang in until a certain point in the trial proceedings? Do we think listen, we are in this ride or die, or listen, we just need to cut bait and start making future decisions? I don't know. What do you think Disney does here?
I mean, yeah, first and foremost, obviously, we hope that everyone gets their fair day in court and that everyone who's involved is safe and sound and cared for. That all being said, I think that Disney is going to learn from Warner Brothers, honestly, a lot here. I think we are collecting facts. I think this whole court appearance and everything and waiting to see some of these things that happen is the right move for Disney at this point in time. Again, just because treat one person one way, I think you should treat everyone the same way. I do wish there was some sort of statement release too of, we are looking into this, we are talking more about this, as opposed to the current no comment, no comment, no comments for every article we've seen, especially once it came to light that the defendant may have been involved as an employee on Ant-Man and Quantumania. So there's a lot of things that I hope Disney steps up to the plate too about this. I'm giving them a little bit of grace and time since the court date just happened, right?
Yeah.
That all being said, I think, again, if they already have Kang completely filmed for season 2 of Loki, it's not a all the money in the world situation, right? It's not a Tig Notaro replacing Chris D'Elia situation. I think that you probably release Loki as is, because that's what we did with Flash, right? That's already made. It's going to cost thousands of dollars, millions of dollars potentially to be redoing this series. But I think moving forward, if Jonathan Majors is found guilty of these crimes, then you do move forward with a new actor. I don't think you completely scrap the concept of having Kang as your big bad, since that is what everything's been working up to, but I think you just replace them. You know, we've seen this happen with other actors just for scheduling conflicts, for just a disinterest in the franchise or wanting to go work on other projects. It's not a huge deal, ultimately, honestly, if we have a new actor in the role. I really enjoyed Jonathan Majors as Kang. I think he was one of the shining lights in Quantum Mania. I think he did a really, really lovely job in it. But that being said, we do live in a time where accountability is very, very important. And a very family-friendly company like Disney, I'm sure, wants to stay above board on how they are handling things and how their actors are behaving. So that's how I would move forward personally.
Here's what I think they should do with Loki. Okay, so this court case is going to drag on.
Yeah.
I would release Loki as fast as possible. I would say I would move up whatever timeline and say, you know what, let's just get this in theater. Let's get this on Disney Plus as quickly as possible.
I agree.
So like if the worst case scenario happens and heaven forbid new charges get brought up or he's convicted of anything or anything like worst case scenario for Disney, well then you know what? Loki was already out. We already put it out a long time after that. The question I have, I mean, obviously if Jonathan Majors is convicted of anything, obviously Disney's going to part ways. But my question becomes, like, we've seen cases like this can last years. So how long does Disney wait? You know, how, like, if this thing, who knows, this thing could be resolved in 4 months, right? It could be quick or maybe 2 years. How long does Disney sit around and wait and say, and do they actually roll the dice and say, well, we're going to start filming Kang Dynasty with Jonathan Majors and hope the court case works out? Yeah. Or do they go, listen, it's not practical for us to do that. We have to, I mean, I just don't know how long they wait.
Right? Because what actor, too, is going to sign some kind of contingency plan of, hey, so long as everything stays above board, you're in this movie. But if we hear anything else, bye, buddy, we're going to scrap all the work you've done. You know, that's something, too, that I think Major's team, as he assembles a new one, that's something they're not going to sign on for either, is no, we need to have certainties. We need to have this in place to move forward as well. And of course, if Jonathan Majors is innocent in all of this, too, there's going to need to be a whole big comeuppance of, you know, losing these campaigns, losing these managers, losing these PR people and everything too. So it's a very, very convoluted issue as a whole of not only how does Marvel move forward, but how does Jonathan Majors move forward in his career? Yeah.
And by the way, people have misinterpreted me before when I've said before, I really do hope Jonathan Majors is innocent. They're saying you want abusers to get away with it. No. I'm not saying I hope he's found innocent. I'm saying I hope he is
truly
innocent.
Is innocent.
Yeah. Because I'm a fan of Jonathan Majors, so I don't want to believe that he did the types of things he's being accused. So I hope it turns out that he's innocent.
It's the thing. We're never rooting for someone to be absolutely somebody who's violent.
Yeah,
That's not the case.
We didn't say I hope he gets away, and I hope he gets away with it.
Yeah, I'm not saying I hope he gets away with it. I'm saying I hope he's innocent.
Yeah.
That's what anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? We looked at the timeline. He's had his first day in court now. The charges, I guess, are proceeding. How far do you think this can go? How long do you think Disney waits? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Manscaped. Summer's coming. Are you ready to unveil your beach bod? Manscaped is here to ensure your body is ready for the wild with their game-changing full body grooming and hygiene products. It is time to get ready for summer by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code Campea. Guys, you know, I've been using Manscaped products for a while now, and I love starting every day feeling cleaner, fresher, and way more comfortable. Manscaped is dedicated to helping you increase your confidence and level up your full body grooming game with the Performance Package 4.0. The kit comes with the Essential Lawnmower 4.0, waterproof cordless body trimmer, and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. Inside the Performance Package, you'll also find the Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, because we know how painful chafing can be when you're wearing your bathing suit all day. And no one likes nose hair, so their package also comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0. You also get 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, a $39 value, and the patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped Boxers. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com/Campea and use the code Campea. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com/Campea and use the code Campea. Trim your chesticles with the besticles.